What's up, everybody? Today's title, listen. You need to listen to the real you. All right, and what do I mean by that? Because I have lived majority of my life not listening to the real me, and over time I've come to see that that is the main thing that everybody struggles with now. Everybody has this core character inside of them that they want to be. And for whatever outside forces it may be, you're not doing it. Now, why? And I believe that's why we have so many issues with mental health and depression and anxiety and things of that nature. Cuz me, I've struggled with depression and anxiety for so fucking long, and I have pretty much allowed myself to believe that that's who I was, you know, and I just stayed like in that mode, and the reason for it is I had this deep, burning passion inside of me to be something, and I was trying to be something else because I thought that's what I needed to be. I wasn't being the real me. I was trying to do what people told me I needed to do with my life, work a regular job, get a standard everyday 9 to 5 with benefits. And that's how you're supposed to live your life. You're supposed to barely be able to afford your rent. You're supposed to be barely be able to afford to eat. As long as you can get everything, and if getting everything leaves you with $20 in your bank account at the end of the month, that's fine. And that's how people are taught to live. And that's a problem. And I wasn't you see, so there's people out there where the real you is just working that regular job. Okay, I'm not saying that people that live the average life are bad people or they're lazy. No, to me, what lazy is, if you're somebody who goes to work, you got 6 to 8 hours of free time, and you decide with that free time you are just going to go home, relax. Maybe you got a girlfriend, maybe you got kids, you want to spend the time with your kids, go to bed, wake up and do it. Okay. That's fine. What's lazy is people that want to be more than that, and they choose not to because it's uncomfortable. And they choose not to because it's easier to just sit at home. Those and majority of the time, those are the people that end up getting addicted to, substances, getting addicted to alcohol, weed, whatever drug it may be. It doesn't even have to be a drug. It could be video games. It could be any other hobby. I say video games because that's the one that I spent way too much fucking time on when I was when I was younger. But it can literally be anything. You could be addicted to anything that gives you peace and makes you forget about the problems in your life, including being who you're not supposed to be. And I coped with this for so long with alcohol and weed. I had a phase, I had alcohol for a while. My entire family was majority alcoholic, so it was just a learned behavior. So for a long time, I was getting blackout drunk like 5 times a week. I'm not even kidding you. Blackout drunk. I'd get up at 4 in the morning and still go to the gym, but I would get blackout drunk all the fucking time. And then once it came to me that I'm becoming a severe fucking alcoholic, I was like, you know what? I gotta quit this shit. So what did I do? My brain, I was like, well, I'm just gonna switch to something that's not as bad. And then I switched to weed, and I smoked weed forever. And I was doing everything. At one point I had the dabs. I was disappointed in myself because I had the whole rig with the blowtorch and everything. It looked like I was fucking doing crack or whatever drug needs a fucking torch. And then, you know, edibles, the vape pens, the flower. I needed it all, because deep down I was suppressing who I was really trying to be. And then I got in a relationship that lasted a couple years, who, and I'm not blaming her. That's not what I'm doing. But, because no matter how somebody is, you allow them into your life, it's your fucking fault. But I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be because I wanted to make her happy. So that was making it worse. And it was making my mental health 10 times worse. And now that I'm being forced to find clarity, everything's starting to clear up. All of a sudden, my depression and anxiety is almost gone. And the only reason is I'm still struggling. I'm still recovering, financially, personally, just my life in general. I'm still recovering, but I'm somewhat at peace. And you want to know why? Because I'm trying to become the person that I want to be now. And I'm chasing the goals that I have for myself. Funny how that works. Okay. And for me, for example, what I want to be is I want to be successful, financially free. I want to be doing the things that I want to do. I hate having a boss. I can't stand it. The last boss I had at my last job, I was like, hey, my mom had eye surgery. She has nobody to take her to her checkup appointment. I got to leave to take her to her appointment. This dumb bitch had the balls to say to me, can you ask your mom to reschedule her appointment? We need you here. Fuck you. But so that was really the tipping point. That's what set me on the edge of like, fuck you. I'm going to get myself back into a sales job where I can stack up money for a year or two, and I'm never working for anybody again. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm building a business and I'm working in sales at the same time. And the reason why I like to work in sales is because in my mind, okay, I want to be successful. There's people out there who work 40, 50 hours a week and have like $600 to their name at the end of the week, bro. I can't do that. Okay? When you can do sales, and I suck at sales still. I suck at it, but I can do it good enough to keep the job and make great money. But I completely sucked at it at one point where I couldn't sell anything. But there's people out there who work 40, 50 hours a week and have like $600 to their name. If you're working in sales and you're selling something that's high ticket, you can have a 1 hour conversation and make $1,400. You can make what they make in 2 weeks, okay, in one transaction. And if you're closing at least one of these a week, you're making way more money than they will ever see. And you're putting in way less effort. The only thing you have to know how to do is how to talk to people and how to lead them to buying something. I'm not talking about being a manipulative, annoying ass door-to-door salesman. I don't do that. I do things where they're preset appointments and they're already interested in what they want to buy. They just need to be guided to what they need. Okay? That's the kind of sales that I like to do, and you get paid great money to do that. I can make, now this doesn't happen every day. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying I'm a fucking, I'm going to be a millionaire in a year. But sometimes I can make $2,500 worth of commission in one day. And sometimes it may be I go a week straight without selling anything. And then one day I make $2,500. Now, was I stressed leading up to that? A little bit. But the adrenaline hit that I get when I make a sale, well, nothing can match it. Nothing in the world matches it. And that's just who I am. So that's what I'm choosing to do. I'm accepting all of the problems that come with it. I'm accepting the stress of hitting the quota. I'm accepting the stress of checking my conversion rates. Sometimes you're dealing with somebody that just wants to give you a hard time because they want to save as much money as possible. You have no control over that. What you have control over is how you respond and keep going. Okay, and I'm doing that because I'm listening to the real me. So if you're somebody out there who, like you have this burning desire to be something, regardless of what it is. Everybody has this internal, I call it the internal character. You got your main character, the one that wants to be whatever it is. A salesman, a fucking pilot, a fucking engineer, football player, play baseball. You want to be a music artist. You want to create art. You want to write a book. Whatever it may be. We all have that character. But that character, unfortunately, majority of the time gets controlled by your brain that through experiences from childhood up to adulthood kind of frame you and tell you that it's not okay to do that. And there's multiple ways that this happens. One is just, how you're raised in school and what you're taught in school. You're taught that You need to have a regular job. You know, you need to go to college. Fuck college. It's a rip off. It's always going to be. Get mad at me if you want. It's not the only people that really need to go to school, like engineers and like doctors and like lawyers and stuff. But for but like to be an artist, the fuck you got to go and get a college degree for? That's just, it's stupid. Put yourself in the unnecessary debt for no reason. You lose 2 to 4 years of your life still doing that bullshit. You want to do art, but for some reason you have to fucking learn kinesiology, whatever, right? So you're told that, and then you have your parents who were taught this before they had access to information like we do, and they're throwing it at you too. You need to get a job with health insurance. You need to start doing your retirement plan. Spoiler alert, I could leave right now, go outside, and get hit by a fucking car by an alcoholic dude who wakes up and has to drink immediately, and he's trying to head to the job that he hates, and he runs a red light, ends my life. That retirement plan is going to do nothing for you. Sure, maybe if you have kids or a wife or something, maybe that money will go to them. I don't have that. I have no interest in that. I have no interest in giving up my dreams to build something up for something that might go to somebody else when I die. I don't care. I'm dead. I don't give a fuck, right? It is what it is. But so the retirement's a stupid thing to worry about. So people let that control them. They need the safety of the retirement and the savings account. Instead of depending on your savings account, learn how to grow it. If that's what you want to do. There's some people out there that's okay with living a retirement plan life. If you want to do that, by all means. I'm talking about me. But and that keeps people down. And then just nature, the things you get shown on your phone, you're always comparing yourself to everybody else, and you're like, man, my life sucks. They're living this great life. Spoiler alert again, half the time they ain't living that great life. That great life that looks like they had, maybe that's like one night a week. No, the rest of the time they're living just like you are. So stop comparing yourself to other people. We all do these things, and our brain sees it, and your brain's like, man, I just want to be comfortable. That's where it suppresses your inner character. That's what I was trying to get at before I went on a rant. It just suppresses you. It suppresses your character. It's like, hey, we don't need to be doing this. This is dangerous. It's safer to just sit here. We already know this is what we're supposed to do. We've already been told to do this, so let's keep doing it. And that's what keeps you locked down. All your experiences throughout your life is telling your inner character, fuck you, you're wrong, we need to be safe. Okay, and we're programmed that way. It's not your fault. But what is your fault is refusing to be aware of that and making the choices that you need to move forward, right? So that's all I got. My main message to that is just be the real you. Don't be anybody else. Don't be what you were told that you need to be. Just be you. There's no other you. You are the only you. There's never going to be another you. There's going to be people that might be similar to you, like similar interests and stuff, but there's never going to be another you. And that's how you succeed, by just being you. Just be different. Nobody wants to be different anymore. Everybody wants to compare themselves to everybody and be like everybody else. Just be yourself. I'm going to talk to you later. Peace.